Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to crack open the personal finance ledger on smart wearables in 2026. We are literally going to see if these devices, everything from your standard fitness rings to high-tech continuous glucose monitors, are actually worth your hard-earned money. I'm super excited to unpack this with you because the way we pay for and honestly the way we get value from health tech has completely shifted lately.
Here's a quick look at our agenda. We'll start with the current wearables boom, dive into upfront hardware costs, and expose the hidden subscription economy. Then, we'll flip over to the ROI, looking at preventive healthcare and workplace subsidies before bringing it all together in the final balance sheet.
All right, part one, the 2026 wearables boom. Let's jump right in.
To put things into perspective today, the smart wearable market has hit a staggering $118.89 billion, and projections show it's basically going to double by 2031. I mean, just think about how many people you saw today with the glowing screen on their wrist. This absolutely isn't just a niche hobby for tech geeks anymore. It's a massive pillar of consumer electronics and healthcare combined.
When you look back at how this explosive growth actually started, you see a really clear foundation being laid down. Those early categories, your basic sports trackers, early smartwatches, simple hearables, they steadily built the incredibly diverse hardware ecosystem we have today. That slow, steady climb year over year, it paved the way for an industry that literally touches almost every single part of our daily routines now.
But here's the catch. This boom isn't exactly an equal playing field. Data from the Journal of Medical Internet Research is pretty revealing. If you have an annual income over 200 grand or an advanced degree, your odds of owning one of these devices more than double. On the flip side, if you live in a rural area, your chances drop significantly to just 0.65 times the baseline. So adoption is heavily tied to socioeconomic factors, which makes perfect sense when we look at the actual costs involved.
Which brings us to part two, upfront hardware costs.
So the initial hardware price is very heavily tiered. If you're just looking for basic step counting and some simple sleep data, an entry-level fitness band will set you back about $50 to $150. But step up to an advanced smartwatch with things like blood oxygen sensors, and you're looking at $250 to $800. High-end multi-sport watches, those can easily stretch up to $1,500. And remember, it doesn't stop at the register. You've got to factor in accessories and maintenance over time, things like extra replacement bands, charging docks, and eventually out-of-warranty battery replacements.
And the sticker shock gets way more intense when you cross over into actual healthcare. Step into the medical-grade arena for things like FDA-approved continuous glucose monitors or smart hearing aids, and your one-time hardware costs can easily soar past the $1,000 to $3,000 mark. The line between a fun consumer gadget and specialized medical equipment is completely blurring right now, and it requires a serious financial commitment up front.
Moving on to part three, let's talk about the hidden subscription economy.
Okay, so here's where things get really interesting. Buying the physical device rarely gives you all the data anymore. To unlock advanced sleep tracking, customized coaching, or deep health data analysis, you are suddenly hit with recurring monthly or annual subscriptions. You've got Fitbit Premium at about $10 a month, the Oura Ring tax on $6 a month even after you buy their expensive hardware. Whoop is $30 a month. And if you rely on a continuous glucose monitor, replacing those sensors is going to run you around $150 every single month.
Just to put this into perspective, think about a platform like Whoop. They don't even let you buy the hardware outright anymore. It is a pure subscription model. So over a 5-year period, you're committing to over $1,500 just to access and interpret your own body's data. The total cost of ownership has absolutely skyrocketed compared to the old days of just buying a watch and wearing it until it dies.
And honestly, the craziest part is that the industry has completely trained us to just accept this. Right now, over 60% of smartwatch owners are paying for at least one extra health tracking subscription. We've willingly traded one-time purchases for ongoing software and data renting fees.
But it's not all bad news. Let's look at part four, ROI and preventative healthcare.
So where's the value? The most profound economic benefit of these devices is easily preventive healthcare. Continuous monitoring of your heart rate, getting an ECG, checking blood oxygen, it gives you a very real opportunity for the early detection of health anomalies. Catching an irregular heartbeat before it turns into a massive emergency room bill, or actively managing a chronic disease can significantly lower your long-term medical and insurance costs. That early detection is a massive, tangible financial win.
And consumers are totally getting this. Over 40% of users actually say they'd willingly pay even more for predictive, AI-driven health alerts and early disease detection. We aren't just paying for digital pedometers anymore, right? We're investing in personalized, proactive healthcare right on our wrists, and we'll gladly pay a premium if it keeps us out of a hospital bed.
Let's look at another benefit in Part 5, Productivity and Workplace Subsidies.
PwC outlined this fascinating scenario that acts like a massive gamification loop. Step 1. Your employer actually helps buy the watch. Step 2. You track your steps and earn wellness points. Step 3. You turn those points into charitable donations or cool perks. And Step 4. The employer directly benefits from lower healthcare premiums, fewer sick days, and a more motivated team. It is literally a win-win economic cycle for everyone involved.
We're even seeing this expand way beyond fitness trackers. Think about tools like 3D smart glasses on factory floors, or smartwatches integrated into the corporate office. By offering streamlined communication, real-time task alerts, and fitness motivation, you dramatically reduce lost work time. Corporate efficiency goes up, and for the employee, it really helps streamline their day and reduces workplace stress. Because these productivity gains are so obvious, 2 in 3 consumers now want their companies to foot the bill for their wearables. And the market is listening. A ton of corporate wellness programs today are covering anywhere from 50 to 100% of the device costs for their staff. If your boss is paying for it, that completely flips your personal financial ledger into the green.
Which brings us perfectly to our last section, the final balance sheet.
A huge part of the long-term value comes down to ecosystem synergy. As this stat shows, 78% of people say they use their wearable way more frequently, precisely because it connects so seamlessly to their smartphone. It provides deep integration with smartphones that increases the functional utility of your existing tech investments. It keeps you locked into the ecosystem, making the hardware feel absolutely indispensable.
And Wall Street absolutely loves this ecosystem synergy. Subscription-centric wearable platforms are trading at massive 8 to 12 times revenue multiples, compared to just 2 to 4 times for companies that only sell hardware. This continuous flow of your data, combined with that recurring monthly revenue, it's incredibly lucrative for these tech giants.
So summing up our final ledger, you can clearly see the tug-of-war happening here. Over in the red column, you've got high upfront hardware prices, those pesky ongoing subscriptions, and the maintenance of extra accessories. But look at the black column. Those costs are heavily offset if you're actually using those preventative health savings, tapping into employer subsidies, and leveraging the device for daily productivity gains.
But as you calculate your own true costs of ownership, there's one critical question you really need to take away from this explainer. As these devices become deeply integrated into quite literally every facet of our lives, when you buy a smart wearable today, are you just paying for a health tool? Or, with all this incredibly valuable, intimate data flowing back to the platforms, are you actually paying to be the product? Definitely something to chew on the next time you strap one onto your wrist. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope this helps you balance your own tech ledger.